If you ever wondered how sellers seem to catch trends before everyone else and that you're feeling behind on finding the best-selling products, perhaps you want to watch this video to see how you can take the first step to find that winning product for your e-commerce business. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I find the best products for e-commerce, from searching on 1688 to validating it on Google Trends. And another source that I found out recently is TikTok Creative Center. And once you have the information and are guided in the right direction, then you can start ordering samples and test the market for your business. Now, firstly, let's define what a winning product is in 2025. And I've broken it down to 5 sections. 1, it solves a real problem. 2, it's visually appealing and it can be viral or it can be made viral. Not that you need to go viral. I've never gone viral before, but it can at least be made viral or it can be shared with many friends, and it can be easy to spread the information out. 3, for beginners, I recommend it to be lightweight, like under 2 kilograms of a product. And the example I'm going to go here is going to be a lot bigger than that, but if you're just starting for logistics reasons, keep it at 1 or 2 kilograms max. 4, you want the profit margin to be between 40 to 50% to your end customer. And you're not going to know the nitty gritty details about the exact cost that you should be charging your end customer until you actually go through some samples. And a little bit of a warning, your first samples are usually going to be the most painful because you don't know all the hidden costs that are involved from sending a product from China to your country. And lastly, you want to make sure it has reliable suppliers, which we're going to go into and how to find in this video. So now let's start with using 1688, which is one of my go-to platforms to actually find suppliers and how you can do so to find the winning product. So here I am on the 1688 homepage, and you can see that there's a couple options you can pick from the get-go. So I want to pay attention particularly to this area right here. So this is drop shipping. So like you buy one product and ship it. Do note that 1688 in most cases cannot ship overseas. You probably need an agent, a shipping agent, or someone in between to actually ship it overseas. And another one is hot selling overseas products. These 2 categories are probably the go-to on 1688 because first, if it's a drop shipping item, that means the MOQ is very low. Second, if they have overseas experience and they sold many items overseas, they probably already gone through the headaches of getting the proper certifications so that the product can actually be sold in your target country. So those are the 2 I want to keep note. So I'm going to click on the drop shipping one as an example, and here you can just browse through, okay? Don't go crazy with what you see here. Just have a look on what's actually performing on their stores. By the way, if you're using Google Chrome and you don't understand anything that's on the screen, you can simply install the Google Translate app and then it will go ahead and translate everything to English, although the UI may be a little bit iffy. So here you are, you can see which products that you might be attracted to. Now this isn't the drop shipping one specifically. And something cool is that you can actually filter different categories for the specific product. So 1 item shipping, you can have free shipping, 7-day no return policy. I don't recommend really banking on that 7 days because, you know, the product's going to leave China. And once they leave China, it's kind of like out of your hands. And then some kind of different platforms they've sold in. Now, why is this important? Is because if you're going to advertise, let's say on TikTok, which I'll go through later about how to research trends on TikTok, they already have ready-made videos for you that you can essentially copy and paste or maybe put a little bit of a twist of your own with permission from the seller, of course. But that's just to get an idea and kind of get some inspiration of what you want to sell. What I always recommend is that you pick a product that you actually will use yourself, you have some knowledge in, and it's not just copying and pasting a random product that you have no interest or no knowledge about, because you're going to have a really hard time. So I'm going to go more into the cross-border area of 1688. I really prefer this one. So you can actually filter this a little bit more, but here is where it gets interesting. So depending on where your country is, here there's plenty to choose from. So you have, you know, Hong Kong, Taiwan, US, Vietnam, Russia, Korea, Japan, Kazakhstan, Thailand, France. You get it. There's some different countries that you can select. So let's say you're selling in the US market, you would click here into the US market, and then it will filter based on what products are selling quite well in the US market. So here you can see different products that are selling well in the US market that have probably been already certified. Just be careful with the contraband. Like, make sure you pick something that's white label and not not copying, pasting, because you're going to get into trouble into the customs when it goes into the US. But here you can just see different kinds of things and products that you can sell. Something that I also like to check the box on 1688 is that it can ship really fast within, like once you place the order, it can ship it within 24 to 48 hours. And you can add like super factory or other factories. That's just essentially saying how long they've been in business, how long they've been on 1688, and the reliability. You can see there's all kinds of goods here. I already picked a good that I thought was quite interesting that could maybe be a potential market, but don't copy what I am mentioning. And that was this smart mattress. So again, if you don't have logistics channels set up, if you've never done this before, don't go for something heavy and bulky because it's going to be a pain to do returns and to do all that kind of stuff. I actually personally don't recommend going the drop shipping route. I recommend that you would go somewhere you have like a local warehouse in your country. So you ship in bulk from China to your warehouse, or it can be your house or your apartment if you're just starting out. And then from that point, once you get orders from that area, you ship it to your end customer in your country already. Like the products are already in your country. Has more control, but of course you have a little bit more risk involved with that because then you're taking on more inventory. But if you're just starting out, we'd start with maybe 1 of 5 products just starting just to test the logistics process and to see if you can even get customers to buy what you're trying to sell. So again, don't use this example if you're a newbie when it comes to this business. So let's go back into this mattress. And I thought it was really interesting that like it's just a simple mattress that you can potentially white label, or you can add your own kind of logo. I just found it kind of interesting because you can add your own logo, make it your own, make it customized with the simple basic remotes. Just make sure that the remotes are in your local language. Like you're gonna need to connect with your supplier for this, but it may not be in English. As you can see here, this can be hard to reference for some people. See, they also have an app there. Make sure their app is also in English. Like people just buy stuff on 1688 and when they receive it, it's all in Chinese because they didn't coordinate with a supplier. These are things you can do beforehand to make sure it goes smoothly. But again, this is not, if you're doing something like this specific case, like the smart mattress, it's risky because one, you have plenty of sizes and too many choices. Like when you're doing this business and you're just starting out, you want to minimize the choices. You don't want to have like 1,000 colors and 1,000 sizes because then one, you're going to increase customer dissatisfaction rates because they're going to get too much variety and it might not fit them and you need to return it and deal with that. It's just a big pain in the butt. And two, you want to narrow the choices to the customer so that they don't get in the analysis paralysis kind of mindset where they have so many choices and they don't know what to pick. So just narrow it down to like 1 to 3 key products and just go from there. So that's how you would find the suppliers here. You can go deeper into the specific supplier by looking at the reviews here, looking at the rate, looking more of the factory information. So here you can see their satisfaction rating. They have a pretty slow response time, honestly, to be fair. Where they're located, and this is important if your freight forwarder is like on the east coast of China, you want to make sure the supplier's in the east coast so that you're not waiting tons of time for the shipping. And you can go into more detail and I have a video on exactly how to do that step by step. But that is just finding the product itself. So that's like the first step to actually finding like a winning product in 2025, right? But now that we know what kind of product we want, you got to verify its demand. So there's a couple tools I would use just to do the verification. And whenever you're starting, again, I recommend you try and sell this to your inner circle first. Like don't be spending tons of money on advertising on platforms like Facebook or like Instagram or TikTok. If you haven't even tried to sold it yourself, like what makes you think you're going to be able to sell it online if you can't even like cold call a friend or someone that you think will be interested in this product and actually sell it? So that's something just to be wary about. So something I like is Google Trends. So in this case, I have it set in a worldwide just for this specific example. And I put in smart mattress. With a smart mattress, you can see that it was actually it was trending in August of not too long ago, but realize that this can fluctuate, especially like there's different seasons that happen globally. So it's not like you're going to know exactly when you're going to reach the bottom of the wave so that you can start advertising this and catch that wave. But at least you get an idea, like, is there a market for this? So for example, just looking at this map, you can see, okay, if I search for smart mattress, what countries are actually looking for it? So if you're trying to sell something, let's say in Brazil, right? Like there's no search about it. Now they may be searching for it in Portuguese. So that's something you should consider too. But to me, it's looking like mostly English speaking countries that search for smart mattress because it's in English. So you may need to use Google Trends in your local language, and you have like a different demographic as you can see here. But yeah, you see Canada, USA, South Africa, India, and Australia, and Great Britain. I guess you can see the United Kingdom. But you can see that they're actually being searched for, and that there is a market. Now, I did do this within the past 90 days. You can do it within the past 12 months if you want to go a little deeper. So here's the information within the past 12 months. So it would have been nice to hit this product like within July. That would have really been an awesome SEO for you. But of course, you can't really predict it all the time. You can just, try your best to guess. And that was one interesting way to verify that there's actually a demand for this kind of product. Another way that I just recently found, and I can't say 100% sure that this is going to work for you, but at least you have a benchmark, right? Is using TikTok. So if you're going to sell and advertise on TikTok or anything like that, could be a good tool. Otherwise, you probably can start out with Google Trends just fine. So on the TikTok, you can actually filter it by your country. So I just put the United States. I put within the last 30 days, and I searched for mattresses, which is under the category of furniture. And you can see that it gets pretty popular sometimes, and then it drops in popularity. It seems that August timeline was like the time to advertise mattresses. I'm not sure why, but it seems like for that specific case, it was that specific time. And what's also interesting is that you can get customer insights about people that are actually searching this product. So between the ages of 25 and 44 is probably over 60% of the people that probably even have the purchasing power to get a new kind of mattress anyways. So that's just another insight you can use to verify that there's actually a market out there using digital tools like that. So now that you've found a trending product and you verify there's actually a market for it in your country, hopefully you filter it by your country, then the next time is to actually give it a shot. Yeah, you're gonna have to take some risks when it comes to doing this kind of business. E-commerce is not easy, but at least you have some kind of a framework and benchmark to say, I want to try this product. Now you got to start negotiating with suppliers. So I would recommend you find 2 to 3 different suppliers, and I have a whole tutorial on how to do that on 1688, but just shortlist to 2 to 3 different suppliers. And once you verify that, then you negotiate the pricing for a small order. So it'd be like 2 to 5 products. You can filter on 1688 by low MOQ. I would recommend try to make it as customized as possible without going crazy. So what I mean by as customized as possible is, like, if it's a white label product, just adding a logo to make it yours. You can make a logo online on Canvas or on Fiverr. You can hire someone to do it. And just to make it a little bit not so copy and paste. I don't recommend copy and paste. I don't recommend going into private label until you've proven that there's an actual market. With private label, you will then be able to actually really customize the product. Like, let's say you want to change the UI in the app, or you want to change some of the technical specs within the product so that it meets your market. But that's a lot more costly, and I don't recommend that unless you've actually tested the market. Then get some orders. Like, try and get it. Like, you don't need to have a website set up or anything like that. Like, I already mentioned this a lot. You can just talk to people you know that would be interested in this product, like who's moving to a new house and they need a new mattress or some new furniture, and reach out to them and say, hey, just be straightforward with them and say, look, I'm trying to test out this new business model, this new e-commerce idea. I'm trying to sell this kind of product. Is this something you're interested in? If it is, would you mind purchasing one from us so that we can make sure it suits your needs? And then you go through the logistics process and actually get it sold to the customer. Because if you just go nilly-willy, because if you can't sell it to someone you know, imagine trying to sell it to someone you don't know online. You're just going to be wasting a ton of money if you can't even sell it to someone you know. So I always put a disclaimer that always test it small and add your personal twist when you can. Don't copy and paste after you have 2 to 3 shortlisted suppliers, and it's going to be quite a negotiation and all that. But if you want to know exactly how to go in more depth on finding the exact supplier you want to on 1688, you can check out this video right here.